Good morning. Hopefully that cough didn't come across. Good morning. Welcome to Hobby Evolution. Trash and recycle day. Carts are at the curb. I remembered last night. Boom. And I'm like, is today recycle? Is tomorrow recycle day? And my wife's like, yes, thank God. Recycle week is very important because it's always overflowing. Carts are at the curb. 781 on the episode count. It's Wednesday. Happy hump day. Happy trash day. Cubs convention just a couple days away. More details were released regarding Cubs convention, which is, I think, awesome. I'm going to share why I think that's awesome. And I want to share a little bit about trial and error when it comes to selling cards, listing cards, and it's all trial and error. So I'm going to explain what that means and how I follow that when I list and sell cards. In the chat we go. What's happening? George in the house. He's on his burner. What's up, George? Good morning to you. Paige and Deanie Bean, what's up? Good morning. Michael, what's happening? Paul, good morning. Brian, what's up? Hey, Raphael, what is going on? Terry is in the house. Clark, good morning. Logical Collectibles, what's up? Woke up early, so I'm finally able to make it to one of these. Welcome in. Glad you could make it. Boston Smoke, what's up? Brian, what's happening? Volume Accumulation, I love the name. What's up? Good morning. Todd, what's happening? David, good morning. Baseball Card Curmudgeon is here. Christian, what is up? Good morning to all. House update. Doing a little house update. Need a drink for this one. So we have there. If we were just moving into this house, like just moving in, like we weren't tearing it all apart and rebuilding it, it would be Funny Farm. Have you seen that movie with Chevy Chase, 1988, which by 1988 really sucked when you think about it. It did bring us Rain Man, but music sucked in 1988. The baseball cards sucked in 1988. Just nothing happened in 1988. Anyway, I digress. Funny Farm, great movie. I think it's terribly underrated, just in my humble movie opinion. But Funny Farm, if you're not familiar, Chevy Chase and his wife, and I can't remember who plays his wife in the movie, they buy this quaint little cottage out in the Northeast, and it's on a lake, and they've got woods, and it's so quaint. Then they move in. There's like holes in the floor, and the water doesn't work, and the mailman's a lunatic, and it's just everything goes wrong at the Funny Farm. And this house that we're renovating is like the Funny Farm. So as we knew there were some mice throughout the house. Like when we walked through a few times, there's a dead mouse in the it was an unfinished basement. There's a dead mouse in the basement. So, okay, mice are getting in. Then as we once we took hold and we had like our subcontractors walk through, and it's like open the closet. Like once he's like moving out, like, oh, there's a mice nest in a closet. Okay, now we start ripping things out, and it's like, oh, there's mouse turds all over the kitchen, the bathroom. There's like an exposed area down in the basement. Like, oh, your mice are probably getting in here. So we knew there was a mice problem. So as we have this lull before we can start framing, hopefully, fingers crossed, we get the permit tomorrow and we can start framing. And I say we, I don't mean me. I mean the professionals. So in the meantime, in the downtime this week, we're just kind of there's some just random stuff that needs to be done as far as like subfloor needs to be pulled out in a couple rooms. But it's also a good time to bring in the exterminator just to, set some traps, just make sure the house is cleared. So my wife comes home. The exterminator was there like in the morning, yesterday morning. My wife comes home like around lunchtime, and I'm down here shipping, and she goes, "Come here." I'm like, "Oh, what's this?" She goes, "So the exterminator. There's a raccoon in the attic." It's like, oh my God. It's a raccoon in the attic, of course. So there's a raccoon in the attic, and he's like, "Man, you have lots of mice. So, well, get rid of them." So the funny farm is true to the word of this house. Hopefully tomorrow, the permit comes across, we can start framing. I know we have some deliveries tomorrow, just random stuff. Today, our demo guy is helping us move like some of these shelving. I bought like 3 of those from one of my wife's clients. So I've got 3 more of those, some other random shelves, just a bunch of crap we bought that we're storing in my mother-in-law's garage. But now we have to move it. So that's on today's agenda. Johnny Boy Cards is here. What's happening? Wesley collects cards. Good morning. Watching Bo and Fox News. It's a good morning. Brian says, don't speak ill of 88 score. 88 score, I can give it a pass. It's okay. 88 tops. I'm coming around to the design of 88 tops. The set itself from 1988 sucks. I think it's just because that the rookie class was so weak, and that's why we look down upon 1988. Oh man, I'm gassy this morning. 1988. Logical Collectibles. What's up, John? John's in the house. Logical Collectibles says raccoon in the attic better than skunk in the basement. That's true. That is true. Ed, what's happening? Good morning to you. Low Roller says breaking news: Saudi Arabia buying WWE today. I did see something about that. Like, man, what the hell's happening with WWE? Vince McMahon's back. Stephanie McMahon's out. She's like, I'm out. I'm done. Yeah, so that's going to be an interesting story to follow. John says, were there any good sets from 88 to 92? Ooh, good question. So that's my wheelhouse of nostalgia. So I'm nostalgic about 89 tops and 89 basically 1989. I'm very nostalgic about 1989 because that was my first year of like really collecting cards. 91 tops, man. I love the 91 tops design. I hated it for so long, but now I'm really coming around to 91 tops baseball. Let's see. Max says 89 was the best year ever. Let me guess. You were born in 1989. What other set? 90 was a crap year. 90 tops, hated it. 90 Fleer, hated it. 90 Donruss, hated it. 90 Upper Deck, don't like it. 90 Score, it had the Bo Jackson card. I love 89 Score. 89 Score is a set that I think is underappreciated. 89 Score. I love 89 Score. I love 89 Score way better than 88 Score. But I think that's nostalgia for me. 92 I think sucked, but why do I think 92 sucked? Because I was not really collecting baseball cards in 92. I had moved on to basketball. So like there's not much nostalgia for me in 92. Where are we at in the chat? Let's see. Logical says 91 tops Desert Shield, probably the most valuable of those years. I found a Desert Shield in my Goodwill pallet. It's Tim Foley. So it's a $5 card. I think this is the second pallet in a row I found a 91 Desert Shield. There was a Darryl Hamilton, Milwaukee Brewers Desert Shield in my last pallet. And I think I sold it for like $4, $3 on eBay. Tim Foley, haven't listed it yet, but probably going to be listed for $3 or $4. Low Roller wants to know if I think Saudi Arabia will be buying NBA, MLB, NFL teams next. Well, it's possible. I don't know. Could be. Zach and Porter says, easy, John, easy. Similar to your fun memories from the 70s. Some of us have shoes. Same memories about that era. Stay in your own decade, John. Kyle says, eBay is doing some weird stuff. Yeah, Kyle, I sent this on to, I've got some dialogue going with a couple people within eBay, including somebody that's like high up in the payments category within eBay. So as soon as you sent that message, I don't think did I respond to your message? I don't think so. Take this as my response. I apologize. But I screenshot your message and sent it along to the guy in payments I'm working with and said, hey, here's another issue. When you automatically accept, I think that's great what they're doing. Again, I think managed payments is great. Way better than PayPal when it's working the way it's supposed to. Now, when it's cutting up my transactions and charging me extra, I don't like that. I love the fact that there's now like you have to if you send an offer or receive an offer, you have to pay, because many times, and I think people that are abusing that system are trying to inflate comps or maybe deflate comps by sending offers and not paying. So I like that eBay's doing this. What I don't like is the instance of what happened. Kyle sent me like 5 offers last night, and I accepted all of them. Well, each time I accepted, it charged him. And guess what? It charged me a transaction fee. Didn't even give me the opportunity to send Kyle an invoice, say, hey, you bought 5 cards, even it's all free shipping. So, but let's just combine them all. So it's one transaction. Easy for you, easy for me. Not how it worked. So I sent that on to eBay. To an actual person, not to a script reader. Merle, what's happening? Good morning to you. Thanks to all of Minnesota being a skating rink, I'm going to work late today. Well, drive safely. Drive safely. Brian says 90 Tops is an amazing set. Harlan, what's happening? Good morning to you. I think 90 Tops is one of those sets that I'm coming around to as I get older. And maybe that's nostalgia, because all of these sets were from my, coming of age years. So maybe it's part nostalgia. Maybe I think part of it is they're not being crammed down our throats like 87 Tops design or 52 Tops design, or what other designs do they just shove down our throats year after year after year? Let's see. Oh, 90 Leaf. Yeah. Forgot about 90 Leaf. 90 Leaf, man, iconic. Love 90 Leaf. Even the commons. Let's see. Max says, however, the more I see 1980s, 89's design reproduced, I like it. Same here. In fact, that's why I shout out to Nick Vosbrink, who designed this for me several years ago now. That's the 89 Tops design with the ivy and my logo for the 1 Million Cubs project cards. Logical says 90 Leaf with Thomas and Sosa. Good set. Also, yeah, that's probably my favorite from that era, 88 to 92. 90 Leaf, probably my favorite set from that era. 88 to 92 was the Ohio State QBs of the hobby. Brian says the first 5 cards, Nolan Ryan, Frank Thomas rookie. Max says the Bo Jackson card is the most overrated in the junk wax era. Don't at me. Oh, come on. Max, your takes are terrible. Max, stay in your decade, man. Bo Jackson overrated? Never. That's a criminal take. That is criminal. Zach says, I find joy that Bo is going to spend a lot of labor hours moving sets he hates, because it probably makes up a majority of his Cubs collection. Hey, that's the truth. Zach says the best Bo card from that era, 91 Tops traded. That's an awesome card. That is an awesome card. It's kind of weird for me to say, but my favorite Bo Jackson cards are Bo Jackson with the White Sox. I think those are awesome cards. Same with Albert Bell. Going through this Goodwill palette, there's a lot of like that era cards. And there's a bunch of Albert Bell White Sox cards. And I'm like, man, these are cool. John says, perhaps that's why hobby is where it is. Junk wax era folks, who are a majority these days, have an inferior baseline to judge everything else. That's actually a good point. That's actually a good point. And I do think for me, it's nostalgia. So I'm like, I think many of us, like when we say our favorite sets, it'd be interesting to do like a poll. Maybe we could do a poll in here of like like name our top 5 favorite sets and see where they rank like value wise. Because I bet there's a correlation between rookie classes, and I think it's all to each. It's up to each individual as well, because, you know, maybe John thinks the 1960 top set is one of the top 5 of all time. Well, what's in that set? The Carl Yastrzemski rookie card. So he values that set higher than most because of a player he loves. Where, you know, I may say 89 tops because that was the first set I collected. Or what's another? 87 tops. Of course, it's loaded with rookies. Bo Jackson, Barry Bonds, Mark McGwire, all those. So I'm curious, like, what's the correlation between value and popular sets? Nobody likes 88, but guess what? It's also like a $3 set. There's no Tom Glavine. That's it. That's the only good rookie in that set. Low roller, what's he talking about? Talking about the lottery. Saudi Sovereign Fund owns Newcastle United of the Premier League. U.S. leagues won't allow that type of ownership, I reckon. That's a good point. Bink Scott, what's happening? Good morning to you. Do you use tracking when you sell your dollar cards with free shipping? Yes. It's the standard envelope through eBay. So it comes with the standard envelope tracking, which is going up. And somebody asked me yesterday, which I had a feeling, because stamps are going up 3 cents, I had a feeling that would also line up with eBay's, and it was 3 cents to the T. It's going from 57 cents to 60 cents on 1 ounce. It's going from 81 cents to 84 cents on 2 ounces. And it's going from $1.05 to $1.08 on 3 ounces. Now, my pricing at $1.50 is built in to absorb a 3 cent increase, and even a couple cents. If it goes up another 2 or 3 cents next year, I'm built in and won't make any changes. Now, once it gets to 65 cents, that's where I start making adjustments, and I'll start raising my base price from $1.50 to probably $1.75. I'm going to be more stingy with offers. Right now, I just like, boom, blast out $1.40 offers on $1.50 cards. You know, may have to be more careful on that as well. Kyle says, good deal. Glad you were taking these issues to eBay as it affects us all. It does. And just think of how many, like there's 18 million sellers on eBay. And yeah, it's, you know, to somebody that's not doing a lot of volume, maybe it happens once a day. 30 cents. That's just 30 cents, 30 cents, 30 cents, 30 cents. We'll multiply that out by millions, and that's a lot of money. Messi will get paid $200 million in Saudi soccer team. Max says, I have absolutely zero affection and appreciation for Bo. What in the hell? Who dropped you on your head? Max, his stats aren't much, and I wasn't old enough to appreciate the hype. Okay. I can agree with you on the not being old enough. So he's just outside your wheelhouse. You know, he was an amazing athlete. And the hip injury, and what year did that happen? 91. I mean, he was a phenom. And if it wasn't for that hip injury, that ended his football career. And his baseball career, you know, I think And of course, this is all speculation and thought. And I don't know, and I was young. Like when he went down with that hip injury, I was like 10. Would Bo Jackson have been a better football player? I think Zach is the best to answer this question. Would Bo Jackson have had a better football career than baseball career? I think so. And of course, his hip injury affected his baseball career as well. He was able to, continue playing at a high level. I mean, he played until 96, Major League Baseball. But I think he would have had an amazing NFL career. Now, would he have been like the greatest running back of all time? No. But I think he would have had, potentially Hall of Fame football career if it wasn't for that injury. I'd like to know Zach's take on that. John says, Bo Jackson with the Raiders are the best in my opinion. Yeah, Max, play Tecmo Super Bowl. Bo Jackson? He's like the greatest video game player of all time. Let's see. Flipping Sports Guy says, so what's the trial and error today? What did Bo do now? No, this is good. This is just something that it's something I've been doing. So it's not anything different. It's just I want to share what I do. And a lot of people ask, well, how do you know what to sell? Like, how do you know a Todd Marinovich or a Browning Nagel is going to sell, or a William the Refrigerator Perry is going to sell? How do you know? Sometimes I don't, and that's where the trial and error comes in. Also, Card Dealer Pro. How do I efficiently use Card Dealer Pro? Because a lot of people, well, I uploaded all these and it didn't match. Sometimes trial and error, unfortunately, goes into that as well. So that's what I want to talk about. Flipping Sports Guy says, in this group, I'm sure most of our favorite, skipped ahead. Where am I at? In this group, I'm sure most of our favorite sets are worthless junk era. Probably. John says, if you were born in 89, then your opinion about Bo Jackson doesn't matter. It was something you had to experience in real time. I totally agree. Totally agree with that. What's up? TD Sports Cards in the house. Paige and DD Bean says the junk wax era folks need to convince other junk wax era to burn or throw away those junk wax cards to lower the population. Flipping Sports Guy says no one ever knows what Low Roller is talking about. He's in his own world. He's in his own chat. He's just whatever comes across. He's probably watching Fox News also. And whatever he hears on Fox News, he's just, I'm going to type it in the chat. And eventually something's going to stick. Let's see. Boston Smoke says many sets had poor picture quality until 91 Stadium Club, which was a huge hit when it came out. Yeah, Stadium Club was another, man, some of those like new sets that came out. I mean, it started with Upper Deck in 89. I guess 88 Score was a pioneer. It had pictures on the back. 89 Upper Deck, 90 Leaf, 91 Stadium Club. You had Action Packed, which I think started in 89. My favorite set is 53 Tops. Nothing to do with personal nostalgia. And that's a good one. And 53 Tops, well, yes, it's very valuable because it's also very old. There's a lot of artistry in 53 Tops, and it's simple yet elegant. 53 Tops. Max says, don't be ignorant. My opinion matters just as much as anyone's if I'm spending money in the industry. Stamps going up twice a year. Bink Scott says you have to have an eBay store to use that. To use standard envelope? I don't think so. I think you can. I don't think you have to have. If that's, I don't know, and I guess I don't know if that's what you're talking about. I think just the common seller can use eBay standard envelope. Max says, I won't say what my favorite set is because some boomer already took it. Okay, Boomer John took it. Victor, what's happening? Good morning to you. Let's see. Low Roller says another stamp increase in July. If that's the case, that's going to suck. '89 Topps Traded is one of my favorite sets. I don't like that set. I love '89 Topps, but for some reason, I don't like '89 Topps Traded. Why is that? It's got Ken Griffey Jr., but I don't like the car. I don't like the image. I don't like the Ken Griffey Jr. card in Topps Traded. It's like probably the '89 Traded Ken Griffey Jr. is probably my least favorite of all of the Ken Griffey Jr. cards. Even '89 Bowman I like better than the '89 Topps Traded. I love the Donruss rated rookie. What else did he have in '89? I guess that's it. Oh, I guess he had Fleer Update. Was there an '89 score in the traded set for Ken Griffey? I'm sure there was. But I loved Bowman. I loved the Donruss rated rookie. Oh, of course, I'm missing the GOAT, the Upper Deck. Good morning, DR. What's happening? Don't forget to hit that like button. Thank you, Dan. Like, subscribe, all that stuff. Mark says, good morning. Are we talking about favorite sets? Mine are the ones that bring back childhood memories. There it is, the nostalgia. Just what we were talking about. 1974, my favorite because it's the first one I completed as a kid. And that's kind of how we started. I'm nostalgic about it. In '89 Topps is like one of my favorites because that's the first set I collected. I bought packs and actually worked on a set for the first time. Let's see. Where are we at? John says, I won't say what my least favorite snack food is because some douchey who lives with his parents has his fingers going. John. Flipping Sports Guy says, my kids play this new game, Retro Bowl. I went, it's a Tecmo Bolt knockoff. Oh, I tweeted out the other night, NBA Jam and how it's like, so once I tweeted that out, the reason I tweeted it out was sometimes I just go through my phone pictures and I went like back 5 years and I did a blog post on my favorite video games of all time, like 5 years ago. Of course, NBA Jam's up there with Tecmo Super Bowl. And so I saw that picture and I'm like, I'm just going to tweet something out about NBA Jam. And of course it's got nostalgia. People like NBA Jam. So it's like, and I just randomly just put out, like, I thought, what am I thinking? It's like, oh, NBA Jam, I'd like to play that. So that's what I tweeted. It gives me the urge to like buy a Sega Genesis console just to play NBA Jam. So somebody's like, oh, you can buy the arcade. So I went on eBay, looked up arcades. You can buy, I think Walmart, you can buy like a full arcade of NBA Jam. It's only like $600. It's like $600. How can I sneak one of these into the new house without my wife knowing? I'm looking up Sega. Like, how much is a Sega? It's like, should I spend $100 on an old Sega console or $600 on the arcade? The answer is neither. The answer is neither. But somebody had mentioned, have you ever played College Slam? And I'm like, no, I've never heard of that. But I had. So I Googled it, and College Slam was kind of an NBA. Actually, it was an NBA Jam knockoff with college teams. And I remember the image, and I remember like all of a sudden, all of these memories start flooding back. And I think I played it. It might have went to like Blockbuster. Oh, we didn't have Blockbuster. We had Family Video. I probably went to Family Video on a Friday night after growing up in a small town. Your Friday nights as a kid involved going to the Walmart, and then after Walmart, you went to Pizza Hut with your Book It Club thing, and you got a personal pan pizza. And I loved their cheese bread, was it cheese bread? The cheese garlic bread at Pizza Hut. Oh, so good. Then after Pizza Hut, we go to Family Video. And at Family Video, I either rent VHS copies of WrestleMania or a Nintendo game, and later Sega. And I probably rented it from Family Video after eating a personal pan pizza and shopping at Walmart. And it just wasn't good. Coach K, college basketball. Now that's a good college basketball game for Sega Genesis. I digress. Augusta Lawn Care, what's happening? Good morning to you. Let's see. Dan says, I just signed on and I thought Max's comment was related to you. I was like, Bo has Hall of Fame eBay stats. Better football than baseball by far, regarding Bo Jackson. Let's see. Augustus says, was worried last Tuesday was first day in 3 weeks. No sales, almost doubled my previous record quantity. Excellent. My sales have actually been down the last couple days. Let's see. Let's go back to the chat. I might need 3 weeks to get my eBay to refresh. Ed says 65 Topps ranks number 1 for me. That's a good set. I like that's the pennant, right? I like that set. Brian Dean says Bo Jackson, a bigger Emmitt Smith. Ooh, I like that. Max says, not sure what I did to you, man, but the BS has to stop. No reason to come after me day after day. I'm not coming after you. The hell? A few more years, and he have gotten into the Hall a la Gale Sayers. I think Bo had more explosive speed than Emmitt. Oh, for sure. For sure. And for whoever asked yesterday while I was away, I've seen almost daily cards I just posed sell right away. I have seen that with some of my uploads this week. Selling right away. And some of them is because I underpriced them. But I'm seeing like 79 Topps football. I listed like 100, 150, 79 Topps football the other day. And boom, like two of them sold to different buyers, like within minutes. And then I'm going through shipping and it's like 79 Topps football from the same, I'm like, damn. There's a lot of set builders for 79 Topps football, apparently. Volume accumulation says Griffey, Thomas, and Ryan, 91 Stadium Clubs, some of the best cards from that era. Pop counts don't matter if you collect for the love of the cards. That's one of my least favorite things when I hear pop counts. It's a pop 10. I don't care. It's going to be a pop 1 in my collection. And also ketchup on hot dogs rules. I love to have a little hot dog with my ketchup. And yes, I've been selling a lot of those action packs. They are very popular. Yes, you can put ketchup on your hot dog. Ted Mann says 91 Stadium Club was a revelation. Yes, Stadium Club. Zach and Porter says, think about this. When Bo suited up, he would start in front of Hall of Famer Marcus Allen. He was that good. YouTube Bo Jackson highlights baseball and football. Both. He was amazing to watch and a great guy off the field. Let's see. Augustus says, yes, I was able to use standard envelope before I opened my store. Anyone can use it. I never liked any of the traded sets at all. I like the early traded sets, the early Topps traded sets of the 80s. 82, 83, 84. And then like those are problem. And then it's like, 86. I love 86 traded because why do I love it? Well, because it's loaded with Bo Jackson and Barry Bonds and Bobby Bonilla in a White Sox uniform, which blew my 7-year-old mind when I saw that card for the first time. Bobby Bonilla played for the White Sox. I also thought Bobby Bonilla was going to be a first ballot Hall of Famer when I was 7 years old. Low Roller wants to know if I found any NASCAR in the latest Goodwill palette. There was just a few. Kyle will like this. There was a few Color Prism, I think. I don't know who they were, but I set them aside. But fortunately not like binders and boxes full of NASCAR like in previous palettes. Let's see. John says, I don't like the upcharge. Where's John's comment? I don't like the upcharge for top slit hot dog rolls. Hey, we didn't talk about tacos yesterday. 90 action-packed football forever ingrained, a mental picture of Joe Montana, Deion, Bo, the Jim Plunkett Braille card, man. That was like the chase of 1990. Wesley says, as a whole, the 80s were the best for growing up. I agree, but I also grew up in the 80s, so it's easy for me to agree. Let's see. What types of non-sports did you find in the Goodwill palettes? Not much non-sports. Let's see. Augustus says, LOL, Kyle, one of the action-packed I sold last night was Bo, Barry 2. Boom shakalaka. Tecmo Bowl, it was illegal to use the Raiders when you did a small tournament between friends. Yes, it was. The Raiders are off limits because Bo Jackson. And then you had the double and what a lot of when you played Tecmo Super, like the Kansas City Chiefs, in my opinion, were just as good as the Raiders. And here's why. Christian Okoye was like Bo Jackson minus just that burst of speed. Christian Okoye was a flippin' stud on Tecmo Super Bowl. And here's what puts the Chiefs like on the same level as the Raiders on Tecmo Super Bowl. Derek freaking Thomas. Because Derek Thomas at linebacker could run right through and block those extra points. Now, the Raiders had Howie Long. He was good. But Derek Thomas was the Bo Jackson of defense on Tecmo Super Bowl. He was like by far the best linebacker. So you could get in and block those extra points. And then Christian Okoye is like not quite as good as Bo Jackson, but he's right there. So that's, it's like, oh, I'll use the Chiefs. Of course, then you have, then your friends come, start feeling that out. It's like, no Chiefs, no Raiders, no Chiefs. And now you're down. Now you got to play the Bears and the Oilers. And nobody wins with the Bears and Oilers. Let's see. Andrew, a guy near me has that action-packed set in a sealed box set type thing. One of my dealers has a bunch of sealed wax, like older sealed wax. And he has a sealed wax box of action-packed. And he's got like $100 on it. And every time I see it, I'm like, I really want to rip that. But it's like $100. I don't want to spend $100 just to get my jollies from like when I was 10. Like, oh, I'm never going to be able to afford an action-packed box. It's like, if it was 20, I'd be all over it. But it's 100. Steve Ains Comedy, what's up? Good morning to you. Augustus says, I posted 7 Lawrence Taylor cards last night. 3 of them sold in 2 hours, including one of the 1K yard inserts. Reposted the second one I had, and that one sold in an hour. Love it. Rich, good morning to you. Thank you. Hit that like button. Subscribe to the channel. John says we'd go to the general store, consign our fresh eggs, and stock up on oats and whale blubber on our Friday nights. Family Video, Walmart, and Pizza Hut sounds way better. Good morning, all. Thank you, Sal Dougie. Mark says Bo was something. His running style was similar to Earl Campbell, powerful and great speed. Raphael says, I've been noticing that eBay standard envelope doesn't always get scanned in at the local USPS. So I've been recently getting buyers reaching out saying they didn't get. And every time I just barely touch the mouse, it just, we're going to go to the end of the screen. Where's Raphael's comment? And item and demanding an immediate refund. Sometimes they don't even open a case, just message me direct. So yeah, that happens. It's pretty common because the standard envelope scanning is not, it's only scanned at like sorting facilities. So when you drop it off, it's not going to be scanned at the post office. It's not going to be scanned until it reaches the origin sorting facility. So for me in Wisconsin, it's Oak Creek. So it gets scanned at Oak Creek and then wherever the destination is. And then it'll often say delivered. And it'll have a different zip code. It'll be a day before it actually gets delivered, and people reach out. So you basically type out a response, save it to your phone, and then just copy and paste it because you're going to get this a lot. But still, and I know people don't like the inaccuracy of the standard envelope scanning, but the truth of the matter is it's way better because, hey, now you can now you have tracking for standard envelope for regular PWE, but yeah, the tracking doesn't always work, but there's insurance. So if it does get lost and somebody says, hey, I never got this, refund them and then file that insurance claim. You'll get your money back in like 24 hours. It is annoying though, getting a lot of those messages. And so I just basically say, yeah, it's the tracking's not quite accurate. Give it a couple days. If it doesn't get to you by X day, let me know, and then you issue the refund, and then you can go after the 30 days from ship, you can go file the claim. The tracking of PWE is a myth. Sometimes happens, sometimes doesn't. I have a few cards enjoying the week in Hawaii because the USPS is so efficient. Rich says tacos, now a new turn in the real purpose of this chat room food talk. Must be football cards, which earned Pro Bowl status. Flipping Sports Guy says, yeah, I believe the standard envelope only gets scanned at distribution centers or post offices with scan machines. The barcode is like a business mail type one. Yes. So it's only happening at the sorting facilities. John says Nigerian Nightmare, Christian Okoye. Mark says, the late 1980s, the time I worked for Uncle Rich. Now that brings back many memories. Gustus says standard envelope, I believe, never gets scanned locally. It gets scanned when it arrives at outgoing regional sorting centers. Same with the receiving. Yes, you are correct, sir. Okoye and Word were a problem. Barry Word. Heck yeah. Let's see. Harlan, yes, Nigerian Nightmare Okoye. Rich, time to get your day going. Thank you for dropping in. David, what's up? Good morning to you. Let's see. Oh, skipped ahead again. Let's see. Brian wants to know Cherry Hills eBay store. Go ahead and drop that link. Let's add moderator. Boom. Wrenched. Augusta Lawn Care has been wrenched. Share that link. Flipping Sports Guy says, I get lucky living outside of Philly. My standard envelopes get scanned in the night I drop them at my post office. Brian has 2 sealed action packs. Is there any NASCAR cards worth anything? $50 plus. And that's the thing. Probably not. I have a friend of mine, big racing fan, and he's done a lot of racing, different levels. And so he was going through, he's sending me pictures. He was going through like his attic, and he's quite a bit older than I am. So he had like cards going back into the 60s. And he's like, oh, those are nice. And then he shows me like 90s. I'm like, those are not nice. And he's like, I got a bunch of NASCAR cards. And I'm like, well, there's not really any value there. I know there are definitely NASCAR cards worth more than $50, but it's definitely the scale of value on NASCAR is pretty minimal. Let's see. Did that work? Not sure how to do it. Sal Dougie says, I'll take on anybody in Tecmo Bowl with the Bears. It was mostly the 85 team, and not even the AI could cover the Cap Bozo slant. You're on. There used to be a big tournament here in Madison, a Tecmo Super Bowl tournament. My buddy got into like Tecmo tournaments, and he'd travel to like Green Bay, Milwaukee, here in Madison, and play in these Tecmo Super Bowl tournaments. In fact, we were talking about this. One of my coworkers, he had a friend that played in these Tecmo Super Bowl tournaments, and there's like a website that has like rankings and records and standings of these Tecmo tournaments. And so my friend and my coworker's friend had actually played each other in one of these tournaments. So that was like small world. So last time I was at my buddy's house, we play in Tecmo Bowl. I think it was March Madness a couple years ago. And so like kind of a lull between games, like crappy games on March Madness. We play some, and he just like frickin' blows me out every time. Flipping Sports Guy says, my standard response is post office scans at the sorting facility, wait a day or two. If it doesn't show, reach back out. Absolutely. TD Sports Card says, just thinking of the running backs during that time. Barry, Bo, Emmett, Okoye, Marcus, Thurman, Thomas. Yeah, crazy. I thought you were wrenched, Augusta. Yeah, I've got you wrenched. How come the wrench isn't showing? Oh, yeah, there. Now it's showing. Okay. Let's see. David says, actually, the Oilers were one of my favorite teams in Tecmo Super Bowl. Lorenzo White at running back was not great, but the run and shoot offense was tough to stop. Oh, yeah, the Oilers had some good receivers. Drew Hill. I remember Warren Moon to Drew Hill, and who else was on the Oilers? There was another wide receiver that was pretty good for Houston. But yeah, the running game wasn't there, but the passing game was pretty stout. Blaine, what's happening? Good morning to you. Do you get a lot of messages about condition due to the scanned images? I wouldn't say often. I think the most common when it comes to scanned images, people think they're just stock photos. That's probably the most common I get as far as condition goes. Herman says, good morning. What's up, Herman? Had a service meeting at work this morning. Augusta Lawn Care says, who is Okoye? Christian Okoye, the Nigerian Nightmare. He was a stud on Tecmo Super Bowl. Let's see. Is anyone living outside of Philly really lucky at all? There is one of my items. Have no idea how to post this stuff. There you go. Well, the link worked. Good morning, Brian. What's happening? 70s you from Philly. I'm across the bridge in New Jersey. Let me guess. Cherry Hill. John, I lived in Cherry Hill for a few years for work, and it was an experience going to Philly games. There you go. Ernest Givens. Haywood Jeffries, Curtis Duncan. For those that don't know, Warren Moon is the only player to be both in the NFL and CFL Hall of Fame. Let's see. Got it. Eagle Eye Sports Cards. Flipping Sports Guy says, I started using sleeves with my 70-30. I was starting to notice small scratches on occasional cards. Yeah, that's probably from the plastic of the penny sleeves. Let's see. Cherry Hill in your name gives it away. I'm in Chester County. Let's see. You're lucky you don't live in Philly. Oilers receivers, Hill, Givens, Jeffries. Sal Dougie says, I thought we were talking official Tecmo Bowl. Bears are trash on Super. Yeah, I was talking Tecmo Super Bowl. Yeah, the original Tecmo. I am not a fan of original Tecmo. Give me the Niners on there. My son lives in the city. Can't wait until he moves out. So let's see. Let's get into what was the topic of the day? Trial and error. So I get a lot of questions with my eBay sales. How do you know what sells on eBay? Like, how do I know? Let's take a gander at what's my last card that sold. How about this? The most recent card that sold within the last few minutes, a 2007 Topps rookie, 1952 edition, Ryan Buddy of the Angels. The reason I listed that card in the first place is because it's not a common set. And so that's one of the, and I want to do a video. I want to find examples before I do a video. But I want to do a video on what I look for when I list. And a lot of it has to do with trial and error. And so William the Refrigerator Perry and Jim McMahon, they were kind of my guinea pigs when I started listing 99-cent cards, $1.50 cards on eBay, because I'm like, man, I love Jim McMahon cards. I love fridge cards. And I'm like, if I would pay $1, somebody else out there is probably going to pay $1 for this. And that's when I was doing 99 cents with free shipping. I was using pre-stamped envelopes that I was getting for like 37 cents. So there was profit margin there. Now that I'm using standard envelope and it's now 60 cents, whenever the rate increase happens in the next couple weeks, it's going to be 60 cents. So the margin's not there on 99 cents. So I raised it to $1.50. Jenny, you're just in time. So I just did trial and error. And all of a sudden, guess what? Man, fridge, Jim McMahon, they're selling. Well, I'm going to try it with other Bears because at the point I was like, man, I want to start collecting Chicago Bears cards. And I say that often. So I'm going to do Mike Singletary. Jim Harbaugh rookies, 89 Topps traded. I've sold like 50 of them. It's like, ooh, now I'm going to start. How about 86 Topps football? I love that set. And to a lesser extent, I'm moving some stuff. So it's all trial and error. And sometimes you list stuff and it just doesn't sell. But sometimes you do. Another card that just sold, a 1992 Skybox Primetime Ricky Irvins. The reason I listed that was because it was a trial and error with Card Dealer Pro. And that's another. So how do I know what to list? Sometimes I don't. I just trial and error it. And sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. I have a bunch of and I think the reason I'm not moving a lot of my 86 Topps football is because I don't have individual pictures. It's just one stock photo of a pile of 86 Topps football, and they're just not moving. But if I list, I have like 81 Topps that have an individual photo on each, and I'm selling those on a consistent basis. So maybe I need to go back, put individual images. I'm not going to do that. But if I decide to list more 86 Topps football, I'll do it that way. So a little trial and error. I'm going to get to the chat before I talk Card Dealer Pro trial and error, because if you're using Card Dealer Pro and you're finding some hiccups and you're not as efficient as what you would like to be, it's trial and error with that as well. So let's go into the chat. Wow, we're nearly 70. I think this is a record for live chat, 68. Shane Okoye started so late and his career was so short. Flipping Sports Guy says, no, Bo, the scratches were on the raw cards. That's why I started scanning with sleeve. Interesting. So, and I guess I'm not understanding, were you getting scratches from the actual scanner? Boomer here, who the hell is Ryan Buddy? I don't even know who Ryan Buddy is, and it's with an E, not a Y. He played for the Angels. Let's see. Have I missed the good stuff? Morning from Ottawa, Canada. Good morning, Mike. Thanks for jumping in. Merle says, Bo doesn't think Cubs cards will sell, so he puts them in a box somewhere. Maybe someday they will be worth something, right? You don't know something won't sell unless you try. Exactly. Trial and error sometimes. And then the age-old question, well, is it worth the time? So far, it has been. When it's not worth the time, I'll stop doing it. The Cubs cards are worth something now. He's taking so many off the market, they're hard to find. All cards sell at some time. I sell some of the most random cards, and that's fun. And the more inventory you list, the more sell. And it's like, wow, I can't believe a 1992 Skybox Ricky Irvins card sold. Jenny says, I am trial and error on auctions. Cards that I want to get $1.50 out of, I put up 99 cents with 57 cents shipping, trying to drive traffic of people that search only auction. Flipping Sports Guy says, yeah, from the scanner, it was the same spot on each card that it happened. And you can see a line down the card. So there must be something mechanically in the scanner that's causing that. I never had any scratches on my either using my 7030 or my 8170. I do get lines on occasion, but that's from just like dust particles, so just wiping the insides off. But I've never had any scratches from the scanner. Jenny says, I've moved enough to make it worth using my 500 free auctions a month. Shark City says, I sell random stuff all the time at like 30K cards listed in our store, and each day I'm like, I can't believe X card sold. Oh yeah, multiple times. I can go through like the last 10 sold, and half of them will be a 1977 Topps Terry Forster. Oh, that's a message. Probably didn't show up. Another 79 Topps football sold. Louis Kelcher. 80 Topps Tony Perez. 90 Topps Bernie Williams. 85 Fleer Update Don Sutton. So Mike says, do you use the Collects app to get an indication of pricing? I do not, because I don't find it to be very accurate. So I actually don't comp at all. 70 viewers. Thank you so much. Hit the like button if you haven't already. It's always a WTF day when you see Tom Lawless sell. Where's a good place to try to find a good scanner, new or used, at a decent price? You could go to, if you want new, go through Don Caruso. Just Google Don Caruso Fujitsu. And I think drop my name and you might be able to get a little small discount. If you want to go the refurbished route, is Dan still with us? Dan Ryan? Dan bought a refurbished, I think maybe on Amazon. Check out Amazon. My first Fujitsu scanner I bought on Amazon. The 7030 I bought new from Amazon. Ed, who's in here, he bought my 7030 that I used when I got the 8170. And he uses my old 7030. Let's see. Just Inventory says, if you list it, it will sell. Field of Dreams eBay edition. Don has episode 1 tomorrow live. Did you get the email invite? Probably. Depends on which inbox it's in. Let's see. Shark City says, my random card from last night was 81 Topps football Garo Yepremian. Raphael says, Fujitsu, Don Caruso, and Collects Card Dealer Pro need to sponsor this channel. Bo has done tons for their brands. Thank you. I appreciate that. So with Card Dealer Pro, trial and error, a lot of people will say, I tried Card Dealer Pro, but it just didn't work. It wasn't accurate. And I usually know the problem right away. The problem right away was with the inaccuracy on Car Dealer Pro is typically you're trying to scan colors, color parallels, serial numbered cards, basically those type of cards. And the AI, any AI, doesn't matter if it's Car Dealer Pro, if it's some of the apps like what's the pricing app that I use every once in a while? I can't remember it. But a lot of the AI, it's just not there yet. So it's great for base. If you want to list 86 Topps football, I list a lot of yesterday I did 400 random baseball cards. And I did know when I started listing, when I started to scan them and upload them to Car Dealer Pro, I knew that I wasn't going to have 90% accuracy. I knew that it wasn't going to read leaf. It doesn't, for some reason, Car Dealer Pro does not recognize any leaf cards. And it doesn't matter if it's new leaf or old leaf, like 90, 91, 92 leaf. It doesn't notice leaf. If it's O-Pee-Chee, that's a tricky one for the AI. And then sometimes if it's like 85 Topps, it'll read it as O-Pee-Chee or Tiffany. So there's little quirks, but in many cases, it's just trial and error. You start to understand what the Car Dealer Pro is actually, what it's good at and what you're having success with. And so if I have a stack of wrestling cards not in the library, so I know I can use their template, but I'm going to have to do a lot of the typing because it's just not, the AI doesn't read wrestling. Or if it's a brand new release, it's not going to be in yet. It's going to be a month. So I know that I'm going to have to spend some time doing typing. But if I want to blast 400 random cards, I can get it done in an hour to an hour and a half. If I want to list like the 86 Topps football set, man, I could probably list the entire set in an hour. 800 cards, 700 cards, whatever it is, because it's probably going to be 90 to 95% accurate. There may be a couple glitches, but there's going to be, once my template is set up with everything I need, I don't have to adjust anything. If the AI is accurate, maybe there's a few cards that it doesn't read, boom, upload. So and sometimes that's trial and error. But I will say, don't try color, don't try serial numbers, autos, or anything like that, because those cards, the accuracy is not going to be there. But it's great for base. Let's see. Jenny says, I'll send you the screenshot so you can be there. I think I did see it on Don's LinkedIn page. What time is it tomorrow? Because I actually have a bunch of stuff going on tomorrow that I probably won't make it. I have a couple different things going on, new house related. Let's see. Just Inventory agrees. I've noticed Car Dealer Pro sucks on Topps. Yes, Topps Archives. So Car Dealer Pro, Topps Archives. It does not recognize Topps Archives. Leaf, no matter if it's old leaf from the 90s or new leaf. For some reason, 1979 Topps Football is not being recognized. So those are some of the sets that it's not recognizing. Blaine says, I've actually bought a couple Garo Yepremian cards. My wife is Armenian, so I buy some Armenian athlete cards just in case my son is interested later on. I love it. And it's things like that. That's why cards sell. There's a reason. I just assume everybody's, if it's a 1979 Topps set, they're just building the set. Or they come in and want to buy 7 Brian Taylor cards. It could be a Brian Taylor signing. Maybe there's a Brian Taylor collector out there, or it's for autographs. I think a lot of people buy cards for through the mail signings. But there could also be, stuff like Blaine just mentioned. Let's see. I've bought some Steve Bedrosian as well. Terry says the CDP accuracy really went up when they added the option of choosing the sport. Oh, yeah, because there was a lot of issues with my football, modern football was because modern football is Panini. And so it was thinking that it was a baseball card. Blaine, that's awesome. I try to list as much clean 1989 on back cards I can get my hands on. Andrew says, Bo, do you have any more Reggie Crawford cards? I was looking for another insert from Bowman Draft. I don't think so. I haven't listed any of my Bowman Draft outside of like the refractors. So I'll check. I'll check to see if there was anything else. I don't think there was. So does he have 2 insert cards in Bowman Draft? Because I know I sent one. I'll go back. Now I have to remember where I put those. Where did I put my Bowman Draft? Let's see. Oh, one more thing. I did mention I wanted to talk about the Cubs convention, which is this weekend. So I will not be live Friday, Saturday, or Sunday because I'll be at the Cubs convention. The event program and the map has been released. So it's going to be quite a bit different from the last time we had a convention in 2020. It looks like there's going to be less autographs. In fact, though, now that I look at the map, let's see, was there just 1, 2, 3? There's going to be a couple less autograph lines. The last few years they've opened up like the parking garage / basement, and they've had like 5 lines in the basement. And then they've had like 4 or 5 lines in the main autograph ballroom, but they had a lot of vendors in there as well. No vendors this year. So that's going to be a different look. The only vendors are going to be the minor league affiliates and then the Cubs authentic stores. So that's going to be a new look. Now, I typically didn't really buy anything from the vendors anyway. So I guess it doesn't really, for me, it's like, I did buy my William the Refrigerator Perry fridge magnet at the Cubs convention a few years ago. But overall I didn't buy it because it's inflated prices. And it's like, you can buy Cubs cards, but they're $1 each because they're, playing on, people buying, I don't have a Steve Trout card. Well, here's one for $1. But I do love the Cubs authentic store with all the game used stuff. So that's still there. Then they did release when they released the names of players attending, I'm looking at the list and I'm like, well, I don't need autographs. I've got most of these autographs, but there was a leak of, that's season ticket. There was a leak of the actual signing times. And it's like, now that I look through it, I need quite a few. So basically, and my concern, though, is now that there's less autograph lines, the lines are going to be longer. And it used to be, so stages A through F are the main autograph rooms. In years past, of course, I think it's going to be different this year. In years past, stage A was the voucher. So if you, the pull tab line. So if you get a pull tab, that was the only way to get on this year's list, Nico Horner, Ian Happ, Ryan Sandberg, Christopher Morel, Fergie Jenkins, Kyle Hendricks. That was the only way to get those. And then the rest of the lines were, you just went up, you had to wait in line to get the autographs. And of course, if it's a modern player, current player, the lines are going to be super long. Sometimes they start forming hours ahead of time. Those were the ones I avoided. I like to get in line with like Glendon Rush and Bob Howry, because that's going to be a short line. But then I'm looking over these stages. Stage B, right at 9 a.m. is Fergie Jenkins and Andre Dawson. Now that to me says that's probably going to be a voucher line also. But at the end of the day, Mike Fontenot is in that line, and he's always been a free signee. So it's like, what's stage B going to be? Stage C seems like it's your typical, like those are going to be free signings. Stage D, with the exception of Kerry Wood. Stage E, the same, in stage F, also a lot of double up on stage F. So I'm going through the times. 9 a.m. It's like, 9 a.m. I'd like to get Zach McKinstry and Miles Mastrobuoni. At 10 a.m., I'd like to get Hayden Wesneski, but he's going to be a super long line. So maybe Michael Rucker and Mark Leiter Jr. I need their autographs. 11 a.m., Jameson Taillon, but that's going to be a super long line. Also, maybe I'll settle for DJ Hers and Daniel Palencia. At noon, I need Matt Mervis. That's going to be a long line. Maybe I'll go to Javier Assad. At 1 p.m., I could use Jan Gomes. That's probably going to be a long line. Maybe I'll try to get Brad Boxberger. At 2 p.m., I need Cody Hoyer, and that shouldn't be too long of a line. 3 p.m., I think I need Adrian Sampson. And some of you are like, who are these people? 4 p.m., Tucker Barnhart. And 5 p.m., another Wisniewski signing. So I don't know what usually my plan is. I can write a plan down. This is my plan. But then when you get there, it's like, this is the line. I'm not waiting 3 hours to get Hayden Wisniewski. I'll just go get Tim Stoddard. Let's go back into the chat and then we'll wrap it up for today. Let's see. Jenny says, I think it's 11 a.m. Eastern time. Ooh, that's going to be tough. Well, actually, no, I think so. That's 10 a.m. my time. So that might work with my schedule tomorrow. Let's see. I thought he might have had a draft card. Victor's going to be there. Herman says Braves Fest on the 21st, ready for baseball. Heck yeah. John says we used to have 5 lines in the back lounge of the tour bus each night. I see what you did there. Brian says 71 watching. I think that's a record. Let's see. Raphael wants to know Jenny's eBay store link. Joe Caprino says we can go live from the Cubs convention. I want live beers with Bobby Dernier. Depends on what kind of mood Bobby Dernier's in. Sometimes he can be a little gruff. Usually he's in really good spirits. Let's see. Augusta says, no, it's 9 a.m. Eastern time. So that would be 8 a.m. 8 a.m. Actually, the earlier the better, as long as it's not 7 a.m. So 8 a.m. would actually be, would work. All those new autos means you're losing one of the bedrooms in the basement. Change order coming. Mike says, tips for someone starting an eBay store for sports cards. Let's tackle that tomorrow. Where's my Post-it notes? How to start eBay store. We can tackle that subject tomorrow. And I think I did a blog, but things have changed. The last time I blogged about it was a few years ago, so I'm sure things have changed. So that'll be the topic tomorrow, how to start an eBay store. Flipping Sports Guy says, Bo, if you wanted a taste of daily refinement, turn his live on while you work when you get off. LOL. Mike, learn and always be learning. Let's see. There you go. So that's what I had for today. Thanks for tuning in. Great chat. Great audience. Hit the like button if you haven't already. Subscribe to the channel. All that fun stuff. Visit my eBay store. Link to my store is in the description to this video. Save 25% off at checkout when you buy 7 or more cards. That's at regular price. Offers not accepted. Link is in the store. Have a great Wednesday, and we'll talk eBay stores tomorrow morning. We'll see you then.